Slide. This is the Edwards monthly global update done exclusively for the Ellemeyer Connect group to talk about the current international landscape, recovery trends, and impacts at home. So this is going to be an information dump. You'll be getting a copy of the slides afterwards, so I'm not going to spend a huge amount of time. I always start with what's happening worldwide with vaccines. This is yesterday, as of yesterday, from the ourworldindata.org site, and it shows the number of vaccine doses administered per 100 people in the population. So if you've got more than 100%, then it means it's been more than one single dose per person. You'll notice that the United States and the United Kingdom are doing quite well, that Europe last month was about 18%. Now it's about 30%, still way behind where it ought to be. Mexico, India, Indonesia, really low. Japan, less than 3%, even though they've been giving out vaccines for a couple of months. This is real data, real time. So you can see where the problems are. We got problems in Latin America, obviously in India, and in parts of Asia where we just don't have enough distribution so far. But that's getting better by the month. This is from The Economist a couple of days ago, and I'm trying to get rid of this. You can see here that the increase due to India is what's really driving things up. They're well over 350,000 cases right now. I think they're just about to hit 400,000. And we're going down. Europe's getting a little better. The Americas are getting much better. But we still got a problem in much of the world. But here's some positive information. McKinsey & Company surveyed 918 global CEOs across the world, and they asked what you expect the economic conditions to be by country or region in the next 6 months. India, this was done last month before India had the hit the what. So if they did it today, it wouldn't be 86% positive. We're very positive here, as is China. Latin America, not so much. Very slowly coming out of COVID. Lack of vaccination, of vaccine is the problem. But a good bit of the world is very positive about the next 6 months, and that's encouraging. And then this is an interesting one they did. After the recovery, new ways of working, traveling, using office space. Which ones are the likely to stick? And it's interesting, remote work is probably going to be much more prevalent than before. How companies interact with the customers is changing, a lot more e-commerce. Supply chain management has to change. Because it was a disaster during COVID. Use of office space is negatively impacting commercial real estate, as I'm sure many on this call know. International Monetary Fund came out just about a month ago with this update. They updated this in December. They showed projected growth of about 4.5% worldwide. Now they say 6% in 21. Largely due to faster vaccine-powered recovery, as they say, anticipated in the second half of the year. You can see the U.S., China, Chile, Peru are looking at very high growth rates in Turkey, Spain, not so much in Europe, definitely not in Russia, less down in Australia, New Zealand, because they're only sitting at about 10% vaccinated down there right now. This is an interesting one, household savings. We had a chart about this in one of our biweekly global business updates, but this one is pretty amazing as to what happened during the pandemic. the amount of excess savings, as they call it. I'm not sure what excess means, but apparently there's about $5.5 trillion sitting out there waiting to be spent post-COVID, and we're beginning to see some impact on that in countries that are coming out of COVID as far as consumer spending. Now, Brian, I didn't mean to get to get in front of you, but this chart to me is quite amazing. Cumulative investment inflows into global equities in billions of dollars. And notice what's happened in the last, since July of 2020, the amount of cumulative investment into global equities, which of course is reflected in our stock prices and our stock exchange. It's pretty amazing. We've never seen anything like this as far as the amount of investment. I think that's a positive indication that people believe things are going to get better. Worldwide e-commerce will approach 5 trillion in this year. The growth in the last year of e-commerce has been rather dramatic. Part of it is because we have had to stay home and we still want to spend money. I don't think this trend is really going to slow down. It seems to be increasing. As a matter of fact, we're much more comfortable now shopping by e-commerce. I know I'm going through this quickly because Bill and Lena make me do that, which is fine, but you'll see the slides later. Now, this one is very complicated, but I'm going to go over it quickly. World Press Freedom Index. The darker the country, the more restrictive as far as press freedom. No surprises here. You can see that there's an awful lot of restricted press freedom over here in Asia, all through the Middle East and most of Africa. We're in pretty good shape. We're not as good as others like Canada, but we're in pretty good shape. But it is interesting to see where that press freedom lack is. Now, this is a statistic that I didn't believe at first, so I had to go back and research this. But Statista, which is known for their statistics being real, say this is correct. In the last 2 years, China's poured more concrete than the U.S. did in the entire century from 1901 to 2000. Is that stunning or is that stunning? I mean, I'm not sure what they're putting it into. Maybe it's into those high-rise apartment buildings that nobody's living in China. But the bottom line is, it's cement heaven in China. This one is probably a little hard to read, but it shows U.S. share of the world economy. In 1960, we had 40% of the world's economy, and based on spending per year, and China had 4%. Today we have 24%, or 2019, and China has 16%. But we're still the biggest force in the world by ourselves. Okay, here is one of my favorite infographics, the most commonly used languages on the internet. Not surprising, the English is 60%. Interestingly, China is fairly low, but Russia's fairly high. Kind of strange there, but gives you an idea of what languages are being used. Turkey is 3.7%. We're about 60% of the top 10 million websites are using this language. And last but certainly not least, I always have to have a picture and some fun. The UK reopened bars, pubs, beauty salons, hairdressers, stores about 2 weeks ago. And Barclaycard, which is their equivalent of Visa, showed a 438% increase in 1 week in spiking on spending, which is not surprising. You'll notice the Brits are back in the pubs. The Brits are next to each other, and the Brits don't have masks on. That's it for me for today, Bill.